What causes lunar and solar eclipses? Have you ever been told that aliens stole the sun or the moon when either one suddenly disappears from the sky? An eclipse happens when one astronomical body blocks light from or to another. In a solar eclipse, the moon passes between Earth and the sun and stops some or all of the sun's light from reaching Earth. From Earth, we see light of the sun being dimmed out partially or completely depending on the kind of solar eclipses. In an annular solar eclipse, the moon does not completely cover the sun but instead leaves the edge of the sun showing. This type of eclipse happens when Earth is closest in its orbit to the sun and the moon is farthest in its orbit from Earth, which makes the moon's disk too small to cover the sun's disk completely. In a lunar eclipse, the moon moves into the shadow of Earth cast by the sun. When we are on Earth, we see the light of the moon being extinguished. Fun fact: why don't eclipses happen every month? They do not happen every month because the Earth's orbit around the sun is not in the same plane as the moon's orbit around the Earth. If you were to draw a little Earth in orbit around a little sun on a piece of paper, then you would not be able to accurately draw the moon's orbit on that same piece of paper. Sometimes the moon will be above the paper, other times below it. Only when the moon is crossing the plane of the Earth's orbit will an eclipse occur. While humans have watched eclipses before the dawn of written history, our scientific understanding of the physical world has grown tremendously. Many of the myths we had about eclipses have been replaced by detailed physical explanations. However, some beliefs are remarkably resistant. Let's hear a few of the most popular ones. Total solar eclipses produce harmful rays that can cause blindness. During a total solar eclipse, when the disk of the moon fully covers the sun, the brilliant corona emits only electromagnetic radiation appearing as a greenish hue. For centuries, scientists have studied this radiation. Being 1,000,000 times fainter than the light from the sun itself, there is nothing in the coronal light that could cross 150 million kilometers of space, penetrate our dense atmosphere, and cause blindness. However, if you watch the sun during a solar eclipse, you will probably catch a glimpse of the brilliant solar surface, and this can cause retinal damage, although the typical human response is to quickly look away before any severe damage can be caused to the eye. If a pregnant lady watches an eclipse, it can harm her baby. This is related to the previous false idea that harmful radiations are emitted during a total solar eclipse. Although the electromagnetic radiation comes from the corona, it is just seen as light, which is as safe as another form of radiation that travels to Earth from the sun. Eclipses are signs of something very bad about to happen. Psychologists use confirmation biasness to explain why people tend to remember all the occasions when two things happen together, but tend to forget all of the other times when they did not. This is used to explain why we tend to have a biased view if anything bad happened to us when there is an eclipse. The human brain naturally adopts patterns that help with our survival. The moon turns completely black during a total solar eclipse. Although it is difficult to see a new moon, we are usually able to see the moon beyond the crescent being weakly illuminated on some days. This is because Earth is usually very bright, and this weak light is enough to turn the lunar surface into a pale milky white shade. This is called Earthshine, and the same thing applies during a total solar eclipse. So, after demystifying eclipses, are you also wondering why does one make a wish upon seeing a shooting star, but think about the end of the world upon hearing that an asteroid is coming towards Earth? Join us for the next episode to find out more.